Yo, welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Last time, we started the fifth story, which is basically a retelling of the fourth story, but now we're saying what actually happened instead of the fake story we saw last time. Instead of the white-haired girl coming to the mansion, it is the maid, who is called Giselle. She's been sent here as punishment, seemingly, or she's been like banished here. And there's Michel, who is. He says he's here of his own volition, but I don't know if that's true. And they're both hiding stuff from one another. And I had some theories as to what those things that they're hiding are. Go watch last episode if you want to hear that. But yeah, they just received a package. I think Giselle is about to get the stuff from the package now. Or no, never mind. We skipped forward in time. Several days have passed since the package arrived. The end of my third week living in the mansion was drawing near. Michelle wasn't getting any friendlier either. He continued to either snub or bluntly dismiss me whenever we crossed paths. I didn't understand why he acted that way around me. But there was little point in asking when he seemed to think there was little point in talking to me at all. Although at first I had been sure there was some way to get him to warm up to me. The more time I spent in the mansion, the more my willpower began to feel like it was at its breaking point. I could tell myself to stay positive until I was blue in the face, but it would only work for so long. The one pretty place in the whole house. I'm glad he hasn't covered it back up. Blue moonlight shone quietly through the stained glass window, vainly illuminating some of the room. I hadn't noticed it until now, but the room with the stained glass window appeared to be modeled after a chapel. Rows of pews faced the windows, below which sat what used to be a pulpit. A raised platform or lectern in the church or chapel from which the preacher delivers a sermon. Now you know. There was very little left of it, though, and an awkward length of silver was mounted to the pulpit's front face. What was, I assumed, formerly a cross. Upon further reflection, rather than facing the window, the pews seemed to be pointed at the pulpit, or perhaps the cross hanging on it. I wasn't sure why there would be a chapel in the mansion, but I had no one to ask about it. For a house of this size, a statue of Christ or the Virgin Mary seems more appropriate. It's a very well-made chapel at any rate. I doubted Michel had it built for himself. There would be no reason for him to cover the window if that were the case. Nor had I ever seen him come to pray. He doesn't seem like one to believe in God. I'm not even sure if God really existed, then surely the world would be a much more pleasant, peaceful place. No unfair disparities in money or power. No senseless misfortune. I certainly wouldn't have found myself here either. But God was evidently quite fond of giving mankind trials, so he would probably tell me with a straight face that this was one too. Or perhaps we simply had a false impression of him, and he didn't actually give us anything. He merely sat back and watched from somewhere far, far away. It wasn't his job to bring peace to the world, to ensure our laws were fair. That was all mankind's responsibility. What is God? What are angels? I have no idea. Maybe the Bible has answers. I don't think this is it, by the way, but I think it's interesting how all the references to God are capitalized, like him, he, like it's always capitalized. Just like when we were like at the mansion between the stories, whenever it says you, as in referring to us, that was also capitalized. I don't think we are literally God. Like, I don't think the player character is literally God, but I think that's an interesting parallel. Why should I pray to someone so far away? How do I know my prayer is even getting there? But still, it's not like I have any other options. Don't you worry, it'll all work out, promise. I already know where I'm going to work. It's a really prominent noble house, way out of reach of some small-time merchants like us. You never know, this could be my big break. Well, I'm just kidding. Don't look so worried. I'll be just fine, honestly. I'll make enough money for us to get back onto our feet. For goodness sake, I cannot handle it. Leave everything to me. Just wait, I'll make our family into something you can be proud of. I'll be fine. Yeah, say bye to Mom for me. I probably won't be home for a while. What? You're afraid I'm going to make some careless mistake? I'm not that airheaded. I can be a refined and elegant young lady. Those nobles won't even know what to believe anymore. If you don't believe me, how about I give you a little taste? How are you doing this fine morning, master? Your morning beverage is ready, prepared with the utmost of care. See, how about that? Not bad, huh? What? You really think it sounded forced? I was the daughter of a merchant who ran a shop on the capital's main street. My father had passed away in a plague, so it was just me, my mother, and my older sister. Was the Black Plague at this period of time? I don't know my history well enough. It would be a lie to say business was doing well. We struggled to squeak by day to day after taxes, but we couldn't just abandon the shop and leave the capital either. We tried to make the best of what we were able to take in between the three of us. Then my sister fell in love with a moderately well-off aristocrat. Both my mom and I were supportive of her and her desire to marry, but their union almost fell apart because she was not suitable for him. Merchants were hardly the lowest class. What we lacked instead was wealth. We needed another source of money beyond what the shop took in. If only we had money, my sister could get married. If only we had money, my sister wouldn't have to work so hard. If only we had money. It was then that someone from the distinguished Bollinger estate approached me. He said they were in need of Abigails and would love to have me. He said that if I agreed to work for them, the Bollinger estate would take care of my family. Generally speaking, noble houses took Abigails from other lower-ranked noble houses. It was unthinkable for someone of my status to receive such an offer. So I took it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance and accepted the offer. I just pray that nothing bad happens to my sister, and that mom is getting enough money to live comfortably. That's all I can do. Their nobility. They have plenty of money, enough to spare some. The light shining through the stained glass window began to grow murky, fading into blackness. It felt like a message from on high, that no, my prayers will not be answered. The bluish-white illumination shining down upon me disappeared as clouds blocked the moon. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me? A sullied woman, huh? Oh, for heaven's sake. I never asked to end up like this. Leading credence to my, my theory. Their nobility. They have plenty of money. Enough to spare some. Oh, come on. You don't even want to look at a sullied woman like me? Oh, for heaven's sake. Never asked to end up like this. Giselle was sitting at one of the pews in the room with a stained glass window. Just looking at her, you might have thought she was offering a prayer. The words coming from her mouth were anything but prayerful. They were filled with resentment. They have plenty of money. A sullied woman. And then, I never asked to end up like this. So this is what's beneath that facade. Most likely, money's what she's after. All I need to do now is confirm my suspicion with them. Just what awful secrets will I uncover? I gave Giselle, sitting in the pew with her head drooped, a cursory glance before leaving the chapel. I had somewhere else to be. The bitterly cold outside air felt like dozens of needles flowing into my lungs. It had been so long since I had stepped beyond the mansion's walls. A thick mist canopied the night sky, blocking out the moonlight. Naturally, the heavens did not rejoice at my leaving the house. It had been 10 years since I had seen the mansion from the outside, and it hadn't changed one bit. A gloomy scarp on the earth, shrouded in darkness. Hardly the kind of place someone would enthusiastically approach. Nevertheless, it was better than that house. Yes? Who is it? Michelle. What? Michelle Bollinger? Just one moment. I'll be right there. Come in. It's a humble abode, but make yourself at home. Wow, I must say this is rather unexpected. Just one word and I would have been up there in a heartbeat. Now was I supposed to do that? I'm regrettably fresh out of carrier pigeons. Right, yes, my apologies. This man, living in a small cottage just far from the mansion, had been hired by the Bollinger family. His job? To watch over me. That said, we never actually interacted. He was tasked with keeping track of whether I was still alive, and whether I remained in the mansion. The monthly package for my family was delivered to him, which he then passed on to me. Okay, so he's completely useless? He's just a middleman? It was insipidly convoluted, but it was indicative of how much they wanted to avoid anyone learning about me. Well then, what can I do for you? The manservant was visibly rattled, afraid too, but not because of the difference in our social ranks. I had a pretty good idea what he had been told about me. He was afraid of me. More specifically, my curse. People fear that which I cannot comprehend. Not just children, adults as well. They fear demons, witches, and curses. Anything impure or not of this world. but I had long since gotten used to being viewed as such. It didn't sadden me, it didn't disappoint me, it didn't pain me. Some things are too foolish to concern yourself over. It certainly doesn't make me feel good either. I was, on some level, annoyed. That woman's appearance at the mansion had created ripples in my once tranquil life. So before I got into the real reason for my visit, I decided to take out a bit of my frustration. Raise your head, there's no need to be afraid. I don't know what you've been told, but I promise I don't bite. Ah, how rude of me. You're right, my sincerest apologies. Your job is to keep watch over me. If the mere sight of me has you trembling, what will you do if I try to run? I would have little trouble escaping. That would be quite unfortunate. Why would I ever tell your mother? I'm not sure that would end well at all. Could lose everything you've been paid so far. In fact, you might be lucky to get out with your life. Surely your mother would not... You're aware of who you're dealing with, right? Michelle, the cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family, who made a pact with the devil. I don't need a blade to take your life. You wouldn't even make it back to report anything. Have mercy, Lord Michelle. Please do not leave the mansion. Please, spare me. Only joking. Well, I don't have the power to kill by way of curse. The man fell silent, but the look on his face said, You are cursed though, aren't you? You're just fucking with him? Once someone's got an idea planted in their head, it's not impossible to get rid of it. I'm so cursed that anyone can see it. That I need to be locked away in a dark mansion. I'm here because I had a question for you, not to warn you that I had planned to run away. A question? For me? Yes. Approximately 3 weeks ago, a black-haired woman came to the mansion. Tell me what you know about her. I was told there would be an Abigail coming, but that's all. I don't know anything else about her. I swear, that's all I know. I haven't been told anything else. I believe you. I never thought they would tell you anything. Right. He had been hired to observe me, but that's all he was, a hired hand. He wouldn't be privy to the Bollinger family's internal affairs. Take this. A letter? I need you to deliver it to my mother. You could have just left it in the box from this month's package and I would have collected it when I dropped off the next one. I'm in urgent need of information. Will you do this for me? Yes. Why, yes, absolutely. I'll fetch a delivery boy tomorrow morning. Much appreciated. Good night. You too. Do take care. But Michelle. Yes? Is it true that you don't have... Would you like me to sew your mouth such you can never open it again? Not at all. My sincerest apologies, Lord Michelle. That was horribly disrespectful. Good night. What doesn't he have? He said he made a deal with the devil. He doesn't have something. I mean, this is probably wrong, but my mind immediately jumped to does he not have genitals? Is he castrated? Is that what he's talking about? Maybe I'm just I don't know why my mind jumped to that, but that's the first thing I thought of. But he doesn't have a soul. He doesn't have... I don't know. Cursed I most certainly am. My mother's response arrived just 10 days later. Just 10 days. The delivery boy must have pushed his horse quite hard. It was almost exactly a month after Giselle had moved in. And shortly thereafter, on a bone-chilling night, everything came crashing down. The rift between us grew deeper, and the wall between us impossibly high. When I lay bare, the scars in my chest, and mercilessly plunged my knife into them. How did we get to this point? Oh, I hate everything. My spirits were getting darker and darker, like they were slowly sinking into a deep morass. I had been at the mansion for a month, and every day since felt twice as long as it should have. I had been optimistic at first. I'd even had a little hope that me and Michelle could get along together. But it hadn't taken long for that hope to be shattered, and the chair locked away inside me. We lived in the same house, but we never spoke anymore. On the few occasions we did cross paths, he just gave me a cold glare and nothing more. Scorn and suspicion in his eyes. Whenever he looked at me like that, it felt as though my throat was being constricted, like I was deep underwater and running out of air. Like my very presence in the world was a crime. I never could have imagined just how agonizing constant rejection was. I started despising others, despising myself, despising the world. Convinced there was no one who could set me free, I considered running away from everything, rather than live like this another day, but I would have done so long ago if that were actually an option. If they found out I had fled, that I had acted outside their wishes, my mom and sister would pay. I had succeeded in allowing my sister to get married and my mom to live comfortably. I had given them happiness. I couldn't take that away from them again. Not after what I had to go through to do it. No, cut that out. It's way too depressing, Giselle. Okay, again, leading credence to my theory, what I had to go through to do it. Pull yourself together, that's not who you are. Be positive. The negativity didn't only come from my interaction with Michelle either. No, there seemed to be some kind of terrible presence within the mansion that twisted people's hearts. The mansion was, in fact, a bit of a local legend, which I had been informed about before being sent here. People claimed it was cursed, and that an evil witch had lived in it for many, many years. Michelle joked that he was the witch, but I didn't believe him. Not usually one to believe in magic or curses at all, but being here so long, I can't help but wonder. Anyway, things can't go on like this. If I was to remain in this house, the situation needed to improve a lot. I was going to lose my mind if things kept up as they were. I was ready to give up once, but I'm going to try closing the distance between us again. If I could get him to open up even the tiniest bit, then maybe that would make living here a little easier. I wasn't going to try to make us best friends or anything. Just repair a relationship enough that being around each other wasn't torturous. I've got my work cut out for me. How do I even begin that conversation? Heck, what is that conversation even going to be about? Maybe I should hold off. Do it another day. No, I've made up my mind to do this, so I should get to it quickly. The longer I wait, the worse things are going to get. And eventually, there won't be any fixing anything. We need to talk. We need to be in the same room for more than 10 seconds. We need to get to know each other. He needs to know that he's not the reason I have something to hide. Okay, let's do this. I'm sure this is going to go great. I made my way to Michelle's chambers, which had told me to stay away from. My shadow was slow and ponderous, but at the very least, I did my best to keep some semblance of a smile on my face. This is one time where I'd really like to have someone to give me a little nudge. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. Pardon, Master? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Master? I guess he's not here. The door wasn't locked. As was the rest of the house, his room was shrouded in darkness. The only light came from the candle in my hand. Master, are you there, Master? He told you not to go in his bedroom. He's gonna be angry. I guess I missed him. It's probably best if I don't stick around for long. He's already got a less than stellar impression of me. I don't want to imagine what will happen if he thinks I've been snooping through his room. Yeah, I should get out of here. I spun around on my heels, taking a step towards the door, when I caught sight of an object draped in a black sheet. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible, but I was intrigued by that object. Something he kept hidden in a room I was forbidden to enter. It was a clue to discovering Michelle's secrets. I reached my hand down towards the object, knowing good and well I shouldn't. Was it because I wanted to learn more about him? Was it because I wanted to tear down the veil he hid behind? Or was it the whisper of the witch? What do we have here? I pulled out the sheet, revealing a framed painting of what appeared to be a noblewoman with porcelain white skin. What stood out about her, though, was that the woman's hair was as pale as her skin. Okay, so I was right. The woman in the portrait is the white-haired girl. And then... what? I know there's something else. Wide gashes ravaged the canvas, damaging her face beyond repair. Okay, so this is the same painting that the white-haired girl saw in the third story, right? That she thought that Jacopo had like slashed the painting to like get back at her, but this was just the same painting that was here. What the? I imagine it had once been a painting of a beautiful woman, but there was hardly a trace of that left. The only feeling it inspired anymore was the deep chill. This damage was not accidental, it was deliberate, angry, and the contempt emanating from it from within the frame was stifling. Thick, suffocating blackness seeped into me. Why would anyone? She was surely a most beautiful woman. Angelic even. The storm of question assaulted me. Who was she? Why had her face been carved up? Why had the painting been covered? What had happened? Who could have... There's only one person who could have done this. Michelle. Why on earth? You saw it, didn't you? You saw the painting, didn't you? Ah. You entered my room without permission, and you saw the painting, didn't you? I am... angelic, you say? There's nothing angelic about that damn woman. I scrambled to make some excuse, but nothing would come out of my mouth. All I could do was tremble. Jesus. Why did you enter my chambers? What were you looking for? Answer me. My mouth wouldn't move properly. I couldn't make my voice come out. It was like I wasn't even in my own body anymore. The wisp of The wisps of airs that were drawn into my lungs were expelled as hoarse gasps. My breaths were shallow and rapid. I was inhaling, but I wasn't getting any air. I was terrified, 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 terrified of his eyes, of his voice, of his feelings, of the knife he was holding up to me, of the terrible past I was chained to, the man's voice, the man's very flesh, terrified me. What were you trying to find, and what were you planning to do with it? Answer me. Another thing you refuse to tell me then. No, I'm trying. Nothing's coming out of my mouth though. Everything's so bright, and I can't catch my breath. I can't breathe. It's fine though. You don't have to tell me. I have a pretty good idea. An idea? What do you mean? Money is what brought you to the Bollinger estate. It's what brought you to me too. There are countless people who would love to see that house fall. In a noble family fears nothing more than disrepute. You were, I presume, approached by someone scheming the Bollinger's downfall. No. And as it just so happens, the Bollingers have a very unfortunate secret. One they're quite desperate to keep under wraps. Me. Someone suspected I might still be alive, so they sent you to dig up information about me. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. Cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michelle, who made a pact with the devil, who is supposed to be dead but is very much alive. You sweet-talked your way into that house and into information about me and my present situation, and you meant to trade that information for money. Bet whoever it was put quite a handsome price on it too. Maybe the one planning to ruin the Bollinger family is you. No, that's not true. Then enlighten me, please. Hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Then tell me if that's the reason you wormed your way into the Bollinger estate, and that's not what you're doing here, then tell me what is. Tell me why you came to this mansion. You want me to tell you about that? No way, that's asking way too much. Tell me. I swear I haven't done anything to wrong you. Simply wanted to make our life together a little more comfortable. Bring some more warmth to this frigid relationship we have. That's the only reason I wanted to find out more about you. I must assume I'm right then, Giselle. Must tell him he's wrong. I must tell him I mean him no harm. But I can't say anything. A merchant's daughter became an Abigail at the noble house. Could you come up with a more obvious lie? Your father's the one who... Wait, how does he know that I'm from a merchant family? Look perplexed. Maybe imprisoned in this house, not free to move about as I please. But I have my ways. I know everything. Everything? Then he knows about that too. Oh yes, I do know. Please. Don't. In your quest for money, don't say it. You slept with my father. Okay, yeah. In that moment, Michelle plunged his knife into my heart. Okay, not literally, obviously. A metaphorical knife into her metaphorical heart. He carved through my chest with those words, causing me to completely lose control of myself. In a panicked frenzy, and probably screaming all the way, I knocked the man aside and ran. I could hear a clap of thunder in the distance. Oh, how I wished a bolt of lightning would come crashing down upon me. Maybe if God burned my tainted flesh with a divine thunderbolt, it would get rid of some of the filth. But the jagged streaks of light cascading across the dark clouds did not strike me, only creating restless grumbles in the sky. Why? I knew that if I fled the mansion, I would likely be causing trouble for my mom and sister. But I was helpless to stop myself. All I could do was run from all that threatened with no regard for the consequences. All that threatened me with no regard for consequences. Before long, small droplets of rain began falling, which soon grew heavy enough to penetrate the forest canopy and reach the ground where I stood. The downpour drowned out my tears and my cries. Because I had rushed from the mansion without even putting on a cloak, each cold winter droplet stung bitterly against my flesh. But the bite of the rain was like a warm embrace compared to what I'd been through before. Michelle had spoken the truth. As much as I wanted to deny it, to avert my eyes, reality was forever engraved in his body. No, I don't want to think about it. But I had no say in the matter. Get out of my head! The worms! The worms! Are we gonna see the scene? Jesus. Come over here, Giselle. Anthony. Okay, may I ask why you asked me here so late, master? I just wanted to have a little chat. Care for some wine? Come closer and I'll pour you a glass. I had this wine imported from up north. I used a very hard water and like it rather tart, so it leaves quite the lasting impression on your tongue. And yet it goes down so easily, you just can't seem to stop. What do you say? Have a sip. Or does your expertise as a trader allow you to evaluate a wine's quality without tasting it? No, but, please, Giselle, don't trample all over my good graces. I hope I won't have to censor anything in this scene. Very well then, I will have a sip, master, but no more. Have you ever considered growing out your hair? Having long hair made it difficult to do my job. You're not a merchant anymore, though. You deserve to look like the woman you truly are. I have no doubt that longer hair would accentuate your natural beauty. It's a gorgeous shade of black, so deep a man could get lost in it for years. It would contrast the color of your skin fabulously. Highlight your eyes, your cheekbones, your nape, your shoulders, and your chest. I should get going. But we're not done talking yet. I would not want the lack of sleep to interfere with my ability to work tomorrow. Thank you very much for the wine. It was delicious. No need to be so cold-hearted now. From the moment I first laid eyes on you. Master, that's enough fooling around for one night. No, don't be afraid. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. I simply want to express my love. Let go of me. That's fucked up. I only came here to work, nothing more. The first time I saw you, I thought it would be a tragic waste to leave you to wither away working at some little street side shop. Yeah, that's why you hired her, obviously. Stop. You can't tell me you didn't know a merchant girl had no place in a house like this, even as a servant. There's only one reason you would be allowed here. No, I swear, it never even crossed my mind. Haha, it would seem you're even more innocent than you look. You figured it all out by now, haven't you? No, let go of me. Stop this! Keep your voice down. Eek! Do not shout, Giselle. If anyone were to find out about this, you would be the one shouldering the consequences, not me. But you're a maid, and I'm the master of the house. Whose words do you think holds more weight? Don't worry, I won't do anything to hurt you. I promise your family will be exceptionally well taken care of. Your mother will have the comfortable life you wanted for her. But you know what will happen if you raise a fuss and make a fool of yourself. Not only will your family not get any of our money, and not only will your sister not get to marry, you'll all spend the rest of your lives on the street. How could you be so cruel? This is blackmail. Blackmail? For a merchant's daughter, you don't know much about trade, do you? Let me give you a little lesson about market value. The goods you're after, Giselle, are not cheap. Understand? Now let me see that beautiful body of yours. That's fucked up. He was an older man, so I hadn't expected him to be very strong, but I couldn't break free of his grip, and I found myself entirely at his mercy. Beneath the gaudy outfits lay a hungry beast, and I was seeing the creature's true colors for the first time that day. Ooh. The aging man ran his disgusting, slobbery tongue across my exposed skin. Everything he placed his hands upon withered away. Every piece of flesh he pressed his lips against putrefied, rotted, decayed, rankled. I trembled in revulsion at which the man laughed, seemingly interpreting it as something else. I wondered what kind of place hell was. If hell's wardens only flayed and carved their prisoners, I would have preferred that instead. I would have rather been sliced into tiny little chunks and cast into the hellfire. I would have chosen eternal torment over being touched by this man another second, but I didn't get to choose my hell. Eventually, the man forced open the gates I had been holding fast, and spread his festering death inside me. Jesus. Listen to me, Giselle. It is in both of our best interests to keep this between the two of us. If we can do that, I'll continue to do good by you and your family. But don't look at me like that, please. I'm thrilled to have you here in this house, Giselle. She has long since lost her mind after all. It's torture just being in the same room. And my sons, they hardly ever come home. But you, Giselle, you give color to my dull life. You make it exciting once again. Now, go on back to your room. I'll be waiting here at the same time next week. The man forced open the gates I had been holding fast and spread his festering death inside me. That's a crazy line, by the way. I couldn't escape from that man's grasp. Not when he used my family against me. Some weeks I would just not go to his chambers, my one feeble means of resistance. But when I did that, he would send another Abigail to come find me the next day. I couldn't ignore his summons when he got other people involved. And then, when the two of us were alone, the mask would come off, and he would discipline me for not showing up before taking care of his usual business. On good days, he would leave bruises in inconspicuous places, my abdomen, my inner thighs, but he went as far as carving a wart into my skin with a knife. Harlot, Jesus! That was why I was afraid of knives. That was why I was afraid of men shouting. I wasn't even sure what to regret anymore. I was in far too deep. There was no turning back the clock. I even considered taking my own life on more than one occasion, but every time the thought crossed my mind, happy memories came with it. Back when it was just the three of us girls in the shop. Life may not have been easy, but it was never dull either. I didn't want to end my life at its absolute lowest point. I wanted, if just temporarily, to go back to the way things were back then. That objective was the only thing that allowed me to keep going. When I was in his presence, I tried to convince myself I was merely an object. I had no emotion, so he couldn't hurt me. I was merely a vessel, a construct of flesh and bones. His hands couldn't reach my heart, for it was not connected to my body. Doing that made it a little easier to bear, but the reality was it was impossible to completely sever my heart from my body. You're Giselle, aren't you? One day, the mistress of the estate stopped me in the halls. She had supposedly once been quite beautiful, but now she was only haggard and bony. Her skin dry, her eyes sunken, her hair faded and stripped of its luster, her head down, her cracked lips barely moving as she spoke. Age didn't appear to be the only thing working its merciless magic on her either. There seemed to be something earing away at her from the inside too. Something that could burst at the slightest touch. Yes, I'm Giselle. Is there something I can do for you? The mistress rarely ever left her chambers. I had been told it had been years since she attended family supper. So what would bring her to come looking for someone like me? You... what? I wasn't sure I wanted to know the answer. You're having relations with my husband, aren't you? You are, aren't you? Madam. You wretched creature. She was telling the truth. One of my trusty maids got a glimpse of you through a crack in the door. She saw you with him, you filthy rat. You seduced my husband. You devil, you conniving witch. You don't get it, do you? You don't realize how grievous your sin is, do you? Anyone, restrain this girl. She's a demon, a devil. Tie her up and hand her over to the clergy. No, that won't be enough. A witch, you have to burn her bones. Scatter the ashes or she'll just come back to life. Yes, execute her. Kill this woman. Burn the witch. She's the piece she's stolen from me. Curse it. It's cursed. This house is cursed. Not only is it taking away my daughter, now it's trying to take away my husband. Oh God, please shine thy cleansing light upon this house. I knew it would be a waste of breath trying to talk to her. She was not of sound mind. There was madness in her eyes. I didn't even have to make a fuss about it. It happened all on its own. There was no way around it, and I should have just done it myself after the first time. I didn't have the energy to argue with her or to cry or to shout. Before long, a crowd began to form around me and the sobbing mistress, and in it stood him. I assumed he would just stand back and watch, and much to my surprise he stepped in, with an embarrassed look on his face, tried to settle his wife down and convince her to not have me executed. Maybe he did have a heart after all. Maybe he just wanted to save face. Regardless, instead of me being burned at the stake, it was decided that I would be sent away to some remote forest. One of the purest Bollinger family heads had purchased a mansion there long ago, but it had been abandoned because of the stories people told about it. They say a cursed witch dwelled in the house. She had returned to life after being executed, and now skulked about in the darkness. It was the perfect place to banish a sinner, and so, accused of adultery, I was in a carriage on my way out of the capital the next day. Yeah, that's really fucked up. I don't know what else to say. That's really bad. I hope my mom and sister are alright. The two of them will believe in me, even if no one else does. The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Just a silent coachman and a single sullied passenger. Looking out through the window, I could see the city walls slowly fading into the distance behind us. I doubted I would ever set foot in this land again, ever cross the Grand Pont again. It was a saddening reality, but at the same time, I felt a surge of relief. I had finally escaped from that house. I had finally escaped from that man. The sense of freedom slightly lessened the weight of everything else I was feeling. A good while after we left the capital, the coachman handed me a letter. On the sheet of parchment was a rather startling revelation. There was someone else already living at the house where I was to reside. The Bollinger's youngest child, but the letter didn't say why he had been sent to the cursed mansion, only that he was there. Beyond that, the letter only made a single request, that I look after him and not ask any questions. So I'm not just being sent out to the middle of nowhere. I still have work to do. If I look after whoever's at the mansion, then they'll do the same for my family? I don't have much say in the matter either way, I suppose. The carriage rattled and shook as it traversed the stony path, and bouncing around inside it, I resolved to take back my life, the peace I had once known, the cheerfulness I had lost, and to do so I would forget, lock away my memories, bury every terrible thing that had happened to me, cast aside those memories and find my smile once more. I have no idea who I'm going to find there, but they couldn't possibly do anything worse to me. Surely they wouldn't threaten me with a knife. I'll greet them with a smile, and do my best to build up a decent relationship with them. I figured, since the both of us had been banished to the same cursed mansion, there would probably be other things we had in common, and so, I'd forget it all, and get my life back, get my smile back. And that was everything that led up to me arriving at the mansion, all the wounds I never wanted to open again. I didn't want to think about that. I've been trying so hard to forget about it. I wanted to forget all about it. So why? Why did you have to make me remember? All I did was believe that we could make things work. Why? How could you? God, I can't take it anymore. Once the memories had broken free, they all flooded back with perfect clarity. Exactly how I ran his hands across me. Exactly where he hit me, where he cut me. Like I was going through it again this very moment. The rain was cooling me down on the outside, but so much nauseating heat had built up in my gut. I vomited all over the ground. I threw up and I threw up and I threw up until there was nothing left but bile. And when I had nothing left to expel, the strength evacuated from my knees and I collapsed. I didn't know if everything was blurry because of the rain or because my eyes had decided they were done looking at anything. The whole world twisted before me. Michelle was no different. My attempts to get close to him, to always keep a smile on, was all a waste. The look in his eyes was terrifying, like he didn't believe in anything at all. So he probably wouldn't have believed me if I had told him the truth. If he's convinced I have an ulterior motive, there's probably no changing his mind. Such a cold rain. If I lie down here and go to sleep, I wonder if all the warmth will eventually drain from my body. And then I'll decompose and become part of the earth. You know, that might actually be nice. I'd like that. I always thought I didn't want to die, that I wanted to go back to the way things were. But who cares anymore? I did my best after all. And that still got me nowhere. Cheerful Giselle was all just a farce. And when I'm dead, all my worry for my mom and sister will fade away with me. Oh God, I thought you have a place for me on high. I am, after all, an unclean woman. And I've given up on living altogether. But even if I can get into heaven, that's okay. I want release. The rain pitter-pattered down through the leaves overhead, chilling my skin. The cold spread through my flesh and into my bones, my heart and lung and stomach freezing me like a block of ice. My consciousness drifted away from me, and the world slipped through my fingers. More than fear, I felt relief. Okay, surely this is where Michelle has a change of heart and becomes a good guy, right? Utter black, and that, I was sure, was the end of me. Time for the Michelle redemption arc, surely. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. Oh, we're back here. I am, even now, putting her through her harrowing experience, digging up the memories she locked away, the past she wanted to pretend never happened, and laying it all before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was, even if it means forcing her to endure this. Okay, another typo, I think. She must remember everything, because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? You are... Michelle. Yes, my name is Michelle. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you were searching for, okay, or Michelle, was the man who once hurt you deeply, me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps, why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clench her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though. And still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. When she's reclaimed herself, that is when I must tell her. Now let us return to her past. Her story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me, but I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. The roles are reversed now. I do not want to lose her. Stay with me. Are you alright? Ah, well, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm glad you're alive. Where am I? I knew who is this man? Is this the guy who, what was his name? The guy who, Michelle sent the letter to? Well, he used to send the letter. Who is this man? What was I doing? You filling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick, like there's still something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy, unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. You'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. I bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenching pleasant aroma wafted up with the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips, just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. The ripple spread across the surface of the milk, and then again, I was gonna make a joke, but no, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Sorry. I'm serious. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. I heard a gentle sigh coming from the man beside me. After which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what had happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. I felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times, I felt like a lost child, and at times, like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like a springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You look pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now. You're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God. I came across you early this morning as I was headed into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. If you're not going to the man I talk, I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. Well, I could tell just looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go. Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient, and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. Pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic. But I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here. That's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amide. Just one lowly villager or many. I'm Giselle. Giselle, that's a beautiful name. Amide. That's a really weird name. Clean it up and you can call it home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I thought others would like it if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village representative, more or less. Representative, like the chief? Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that, haha. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulations, but those are the times when it's most important to keep sight of who you are. Right. Now you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything. Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village, not too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. So he's Amide. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here, I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that had happened at the Bollinger estate, and everything that had happened at the mansion. Forget about Michel. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michel, who made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead, but is very much alive. What had he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michel one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. The house was, as it always had been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest, and any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then. Yeah, that was kind of fucked up, man. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I just feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it was worth, to escape from his gauge, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Ooh. Symbolism. Whoa, it's someone new. Hey, where are you from? Gonna be here long? Are you? We hardly ever get visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you. No, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone. You've got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular, once I decided I was going to stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see, glad to hear it. And it's all thanks to you, Amide. Keep thanking me like that, and my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone. For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amede, taking the lead, we walked through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residences. Once upon a time, this was a city, rather than a village. When your ancestors lived here? Well, no, we were drifters fortunate enough to come across some decent-looking land, so we stuck around. How do you know what it was like before then? There were a few stone tablets left behind. Stone tablets? And based on what we were able to extract from their text, this area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There were hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from afar came in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races, speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are. But if you take them at their word, the city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Was it the witch? Was it the witch? Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. This is what the tablets said, though. We have been cursed by the witch. Jump scare. Okay, I thought there might have been some special text here, but no. Cursed by the witch. Look over there, do you see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the flooded bridge, there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it true that there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed this city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years, and she casts her curse on anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess is the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. Now, as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing practically in ruins. The mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the record, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true, though? Truth or fiction, the story is taking roots in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest, at any rate. I think she'll be fine on that front. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is as peaceful a village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering up there. I know all about the mansion and who lives there. I was there after all, with Michelle for a full month, but I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about the witch living there were spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that, but none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witch is cursed, Michelle, they're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in a small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here, but I found peace in the nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. They had never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first, I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time, I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. How long are you staying here? Come on, Giselle, come play with us. We're playing hide and seek today. Can't, sorry, I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop that, don't pull on my skirt. Alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching, we'll be down at the square, okay? Got it, see you there. The kids have taken quite a liking to you. Amide. You think so? They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Okay. Haha, why, thank you. I don't think it's so much that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek. That's not going to hurt me any points. I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future. A bright future. I never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amide. Thanks you. Thanks. Though, I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children? Oh, heavens no, I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future. Okay, are you coming on to her? I see. But knowing you, Amide, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time. It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who would take interest in me. Nudges. Wink wink. You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. You really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. Pardon? I won't pressure you into it, of course. But I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way. But it's a little soon for me to think about settling down like that. Haha, it is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. Alright, I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun. I wonder if you really meant it. Amide is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Why am I thinking about him now of all times? The man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amide was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon, winter started giving way to spring. On a day when the air still had brisk winter bite and budding seedlings battled to break through the Okay, wait, and sorry, let me try that again. On the day when the air still had brisk winter bite and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. Uh-oh. That day, the village men were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. I was scared that something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amide. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else. Actually, with a dejected look on his face, he started explaining. Our lord found out about this village. What? And he said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply. That's terrible. What are we going to do then? We're going to do as our lord demands. The 5-year taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else, but it would take time to cultivate the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields? Of course. This village is my home now too. Thank you, Giselle. It'll be difficult, but if we all push in, I'm sure we can get through this. And you know, maybe if we had some kids, they could help with the work and make it go even faster. I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we can make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village too. Your family has more hands to work the fields. I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grains in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us. When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary, and before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill. And it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider. Come on, get moving. Ow, stop that. Why are you doing this? I'll stop once you've told us everything. Told you everyone. One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What? What's this about? Don't play stupid. We all know it was you. What was me? The thief. Amede? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative. The man who had saved my life. But in his eyes now, I thought you were better than that, was contempt, anger, and scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately, as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so I just stood there stupefied. There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. The village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the Lord now demands we pay him taxes, even the smallest items lost can have a dramatic impact on the family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke. Wait, just a second. I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think you've been seen in the act? What? So long as there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured. So stupid. Testimony is like the lowest form of evidence. Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying. You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up. No, that's not my fault. Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken. Amade, don't you believe me? There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars. But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear. Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village? Amade, please believe me. You of all people should believe me. You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you? What? Because you had something to hide, correct? No, What other reason could you have to avoid me? Because you're very pushy. Why? How can he say these things? Why won't he believe me? Now return the things you've stolen. I can't, I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have? I see, you've already moved the stolen goods. She says he doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off that easy. Give us back our property. Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village, quick. Restrain her. No, get your hands off me. Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer, is that it? I didn't do anything. Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything. Is she gonna get raped again? No, stop, you've all gone mad. Please, come to your senses. With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amede's house. He sat coolly in the chair and shoved me to my knees before him. I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole? And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me. Do you swear with God as your witness? I do. I swear with all my heart. You don't actually believe her, do you, Amede? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible. Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amede. Thus said the Lord of Hosts, the woman have committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, and she has betrayed her fellow man. Why are you doing this, Amede? You were such a good man. I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you. Amede. Of course, why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's words over the words of the village, his family? The water. What? A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. And it wasn't clean water from the well, though, but grimy, murky wastewater. I reflectively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. This is really just like the fucking Giselle torture episode. And before I had the chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown. I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Effectively gasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth. Pull her out. We get nothing if she dies. Ah, cough. Put her back in. And keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk. No. Ah. How unsightly. Okay, I'm not gonna voice act all the fucking gasps. And to think I ever considered marrying this woman. Stop. We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth. Please. Oh. Stop. I was giving no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket and pulled out just long enough for me to still a breath before going back in, over and over again. Not a person in that room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I had prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use a loom, something I had never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people. Perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane. But now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them. And every gargle, grasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing in my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. I thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise. Nothing I could make sense of. Yeah. Stay with me. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. Wait, what was I just doing? Alright, I was in the forest on the verge of death, and now they found me, and I almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do about you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property. No, he didn't save me. If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with the loom, but there's plenty you can help with. What are you going to make me do? I'd like to get your hands dirty, and considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. It seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today. Make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else. Dirty stays in line. The way they're looking at me. Okay. Really? Didn't have to spell it out. No. Anything but that. Please have mercy. If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle. What? Give back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. If you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village. The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it. They were enjoying watching me squirm. Take your pick, Giselle. Something of equal value. If I can get that, set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear. If you're in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Created for food, then make your way to a larger town. I think I know where you can get something worth some money. The mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh god, when did I become? You can steal some of that to sell for good money. It's a despicable woman. You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? You're out of your mind? And who goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse. There's no witch living there. There's no curse. Giselle, what do you know about the mansion? I lived there for a while. Well, for a month. You what? The son of a noble lives there. He's human, and he's alone. A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city? I presume he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion from the capital to act as his servant. There was plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. Should be more than enough to pay the Lord 5 years' worth of taxes. Is what you're saying true? I would not lie. As bewilderment spread through Amedee's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had to hold on Michelle. You swear there's just a single man living in that house? Yes, it's only him. Alright. If it turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Look, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to mansion in the forest. Just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me, don't think about trying to run. Right. On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the deer forest that I thought I would never set foot in yet. I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I'll say them at the end of the episode. How had I ended up here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? That is a very good question. Just unluck, I guess. And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure Michelle wasn't around, though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick wood and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite on the surface there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise. The door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It would seem someone really does live in this cursed place. I'm honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door's old. We could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold on. There's no need to be barbaric. Did you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves. That's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan? Giselle, you. Alright, man. You ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door. Stop it. It's the damn nobles who make our lives so hard. They deserve to be robbed. Break it. Break down the door. Please stop this. Okay. You really care about the door that much? Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Stop. All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again and again. In a few minutes' time, it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen, as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me. Growing light-heated from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when a deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest. It would seem you're not aware of whose house you're trying to break into. Holy. The world went silent, just like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared from within the mansion. Surely you know what this place is called. Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chilling alabaster skin and long, nearly translucently pale hair. So surely you came prepared for whatever you would find, and his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob. A demon! Someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look like something not of this world. It's a demon. The rumors about this place were true. A cursed demon lives there. Demon? Him? Michelle? No, he's not cursed. Indeed, I'm cursed. Has he always been like this and she just didn't notice that he had white hair and red eyes because it was always dark in the mansion? The witch's curse is real. I've inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish. The truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath the skin as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color. Offered up to the devil as part of her pact. Behold these crimson eyes, the symbol of the lifeblood split on my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations. Until the moment of your death, you shall regret ever coming near this place. No, have mercy. We're just... Okay, good thing this worked and they're not just like stabbing him with forks right now. Or not forks, but with like farming instruments right now. It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth. Deceived us, told us to pillage his house. We're innocent. Amade, please have mercy on us. Give her to me, then, as an offering. Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please. I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. Okay, kind of being a bro right now. Michelle kind of being a bro. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse. I swear it, we won't return. Run, get out of here. Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amade, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore. Don't think I'm helping you. His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what question I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue. Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned to the mansion to plunder it? That you brought those men here to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle. Yes, it's true. I persuaded them to steal from you. Are you really so desperate for money that you resort to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought a mob to this house? And they were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself? Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence? Ah, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you, I'm done. Leave this place and never show your face here again. As she saw me and stared into his fairy red eyes, somewhat inappropriate thought crossed my mind. Huh, so he can get emotional like anyone else. And my heart stripped away raw and cast off to the sea. Finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me. What? If you want me gone, then kill me. You can do that, can't you? You can use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it, right here, use your power, take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me! What? I'm done, I can't take it, I'm true with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They just walk all over me, laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything. What are you talking about? I tried my best to look happy. I thought everything would work out if I could keep smiling. I believed that would make things better. But nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me, what did I do? What did, but you, all I did, all I ever did was believe, try my best to survive, to always wear a smile. But if everything's going to be my fault, I have to deal with that for the rest of my life. And I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore. Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob. And before that, you used my father. You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. What? I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted, but that man, he used my family against me. He made me... Forced me to... He raped me. What? Again and again, no matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop again and again. He threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife, over and over and over again. What? My father raped you? No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Don't you still have, like, the cut on your body that he made? Didn't you say, like, he wrote on, like, he put a scar on your body that said harlot? Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me. Ah! Give me a moment. I need time to process this. You can do it, can you? Then kill me already. Kill me now. Kill me, damn it. Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside, let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. Okay, we're gonna stop here for now. So I have some thoughts about everything we've been through. Okay, just like Michelle here, I need to gather my thoughts a bit. Obviously this was a pretty fucking brutal episode. I mean, I would be lying if I said I enjoyed going through that, because it really felt like just like non-stop fucking suffering and like constant like rape and torture for Giselle, which is pretty rough. I get that that's like the point, like just like us reading the story, we have to go through all of this, and it's like constant unending, and like it's happening over and over again, just like wears down on the reader, and like it makes it like even worse. I get that that mirrors what Giselle is going through, and just like her, like we're being pelted with this, and it's non-stop, and it like fucking like wears you down. Even as like just like Giselle is trying to stay positive the whole time. Like I was trying to stay positive and like make jokes where I could, but like it keeps happening over and over again, and like everything gets worse and worse and worse. But like I get that that's the point. I understand what it's doing, and I respect it, but I just don't enjoy reading stories like this. Like people call it torture porn, and that feels a little dismissive, but like I guess something similar to compare it to is chapter 3 of Subahibi, like Looking Glass Insect. I felt the same way about that chapter. Like that chapter was so fucking miserable to read through, because it is just Zakura was her name, I think, just suffering and getting like bullied and tortured and raped endlessly and endlessly and endlessly for like scene after scene after scene after scene. And like I get what it's doing, I get how it mirrors what the character is going through, but it is not, I don't like reading that. Like it is not a fun experience for me to read that, and I'm just not having a good time. It is, I think I am like experiencing the emotion that the story wants me to experience, but I'm not having a good time. That being said, like sequences like that can make the rest of the story hit a lot heavier after you've gone through that, because like after you've gone through like such lows, it makes the highs feel even better. Or not even necessarily the highs, but like the scene at slight spoilers for Subahibi, I guess, but like the scene at the end of chapter. Let me go back to the main menu because this music is a bit intense. Sorry. How do I? Can I go back to the main menu? I don't. What's in the title? The like the scene at the end of chapter 3 of Subahibi, where like with Zakuro and 2 other girls at the top of the rooftop. Like that scene, I think is amazing, and like it wouldn't be as good as it is if the entire preceding chapter didn't exist. But like that still doesn't make the stuff preceding it any more like enjoyable for me to go through. And it's the same way here. Like I'm sure like the rest of the story is gonna hit harder because of like all the bullshit that Giselle had to go through. And it hits even harder because like how hard she was trying at the beginning to like stay like bubbly and like put on the face and try to be positive. Like it makes it hit even harder, but that doesn't make going through all of that an enjoyable experience. I mean, I guess that's just a limit I have as a consumer of art. Like things like that where like the intention of the work is to make you feel miserable and to make it feel like unending like suffering is just something that I have trouble enjoying in its own merits, I guess. I mean, again, you're not meant to enjoy it. Like it's like, you know, a horror game. You're not meant to really have fun when you play a horror game that's trying to be scary. You're meant to be scared. It's meant to evoke a negative emotion in you. And people like horror games because they evoke like emotions that you don't often feel in like normal, ordinary day-to-day life. And people like the thrill of experiencing those sorts of emotions that they don't normally do. And I'm sure for a lot of people, stuff like this is kind of the same. Like this like unending misery is not something you experience in your daily life. At least I hope not. If you go through stuff like this in your daily life, then I'm very sorry for you, and I hope your life gets better. But I guess it's kind of the same, right? Like experiencing these really negative emotions in kind of a safe environment, like a safe space where you're separated from it because it's in fiction. But it's just not a good time for me to go through that. And this one was rough too because it takes itself. It's like extremely brutal and extremely realistic as a thing. Because I feel like it was even not as bad in Subahibi. Because Subahibi was so over the top that it kind of was funny sometimes, like how over the top it was. Where I could kind of laugh at it because like this is so silly, like this is so over the top, this is so extra that at some point it kind of just becomes funny. But this, it was just like extremely brutal and extremely realistic, which it's not even funny. It's just like fucking Jesus, like this is fucking depressing. Like I'm sure this happened to some people. So yeah, and I don't want to make it seem like I hated this part or anything. I mean, I still like respect it for what it was. It's just not the kind of thing I especially enjoy reading. I'm interested to see where it's going to go from here. Hopefully Giselle's life gets a bit better from here. I think that's where it's going. So I'm hopeful for that. But yeah, I guess as Michelle said before we entered the story, it is a very human story. It is very painful, and it is very brutal. But hopefully there will be some silver lining at the end of this, that some little ray of hope, I guess, like kind of the window at the top of the tower in the mansion. Some window through all this darkness, some light through all this darkness. Okay, anything else I wanted to say? I don't think so. I think that's it. I don't know where the story is gonna go from here. I mean, like obviously, like Michelle and fucking Giselle are gonna like build a relationship, and he's gonna like figure out he was wrong about her and like all of that stuff. But yeah, hopefully things get better for Giselle, because Jesus Christ, that was rough. Okay. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. This was a long one. If you have any thoughts or response about what I was talking about, then feel free to comment. I would be interested to hear other people's thoughts about what I was talking about. Man, this is this is such a big jump for my channel, because the previous games I've uploaded to this channel were like Danganronpa fat games, like killing games, like itch.io visual novels that were like made by one guy. They're like silly with like katana duels and shit. And now I'm playing this game where it's like fucking rape and torture and endless suffering. it's a bit awkward. I like when as I was going through it, I was like thinking of jokes I could say, but like I was like, okay, but like should I say those jokes? Are people going to take it badly if I make a joke in the middle of the scene? Like, is this I don't know if I'm allowed. Is this appropriate? Like, it's a bit awkward. Well, yeah, I said everything I wanted to say. Gonna end it here for now. See you next time for the continuation of the 5th story. Alright, see ya.